All right, it's been a while since I did a WWE DVD review, and since WrestleMania is a couple weeks away, decided to do some WrestleMania DVD reviews. So we're going to start off with WrestleMania 21. This was back on 2005, so roughly about 16 years ago. I mean, it feels a lot longer. It's weird. It feels like it was like yesterday, and then sometimes it feels like it was like a lot longer, like maybe like 30 years ago. Just the way the wrestling business is, it just changes every year. It seems that there's like a big change and everything. But so this is WrestleMania 21. It says WrestleMania goes Hollywood. So let's go back to 2005 for a little bit here. So we're about 4 years removed from WCW going out of business, and WWE acquiring the tape library and everything, and the flop of the invasion angle that was in 2001. Then we had the Ruthless Aggression Era. So I really believe that 2005, this was kind of like the beginning of like the John Cena era, or you would call it the PG era in WWE. Even if you open this up, you look at the main focus. I mean, at the time, it was John Cena here with the WWE title and Batista with the World Heavyweight title. At the time, Batista was on Raw and John Cena was on SmackDown. It wasn't. It was I think the summer of 2005 when they kind of switched brands and Cena was on Raw and Batista went to SmackDown during the draft. They kind of did like a swap. So look at the cover of the DVD. Remember the back in the day when you used to buy wrestling DVDs. Now with the WWE Network, I don't really buy much WWE DVDs. And then you go on the back over here. Got some pictures of the matches, which is cool. This is a really cool DVD. You open it up and it's 3 discs in there. So you also get the Hall of Fame uh, um, ceremony too. You also get this thing right here. You open it up. It goes, I guess, tells you what's on each disc. So WrestleMania 21. This is when they really started to make WrestleMania into like this big, huge event. And they started having it in. I forgot where this was. It was in Hollywood. I don't know if this was in the where was this taking place? Uh, I don't remember the exact arena this was taking place in. I don't know if this was the same one where they did WrestleMania 12. But yeah, this is when they started making WrestleMania into like this big event. They've always did, but it was a couple years where it wasn't really like especially like WrestleMania 11 and WrestleMania 13 and 15. It was WrestleMania, but it didn't feel like this big like over the top event. So WrestleMania 21, what I saw about what's interesting about this event was you had kind of like the veterans against. They had 3 matches where it was like veterans against like these up and coming stars. Like for example, Triple H defending the world title against Batista. Batista, I mean, it was 2005. He had only been in the business for about like maybe like 3 or 4 years. And then you also have Undertaker against Randy Orton. Again, that was like Randy Orton. This was the beginning of the start of his career, really, being the Legend Killer. And JBL, against John Cena. This is the beginning of the John Cena dominance over WWE. So we'll go over some of the matches here. So I mean, the opening match, Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero. How can you go wrong with that? Um, such a great opener. I mean, I don't remember the match, but I assume it was great just because it had Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio in it. Back then, they had the Money in the Bank matches were at WrestleMania. Nowadays, they have their own pay per view. But look at it. Look who was in this ladder match: Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, Shelton Benjamin, Edge, Christian, and Kane. I think this is the one where Edge won. I know the first couple, I think CM Punk won, but I think Edge won this one. Then we had the Legend versus the Legend Killer, Undertaker versus Randy Orton. So this was the start of their match one of their trilogy of 2005, which they had the match, this match, and then they had a match at SummerSlam 2005, and then at Armageddon in the Hell in the Cell in December 2005. Women's championship match: Trish Stratus versus Christy Hame. I don't even remember Christy Hame being in a match like this. Then interpromotional match. Again, they had Raw and SmackDown, so they had two brands back then too. Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. I remember the build up to this match. Again, it was probably one of the. I think it might have won match of the year, maybe. I don't know, but it was a really good match. Then they also had Piper's Pit with Stone Cold Steve Austin, so that was pretty cool. Match I really didn't care about. Big Show versus Ekabono. It was a sumo match. Not a big fan of Big Show, so I'm skipping that match. WWE Championship Jbl versus John Cena. Again with these, and also for the World Heavyweight title, Triple H versus Batista. So again with these like matches, you have like the heel champion that's been champion for a while, the veteran going into Mania against the young baby face, and the young baby face wins the match and wins the title. We also have the 2005 induction ceremony, and look who you got Hulk Hogan. This is as you can see, I have a picture of Hogan over there. This was like Hogan's big return to WWE. I think the last time we saw Hogan was so this was probably 2000, maybe 2003, like right after his match with right after WrestleMania 19. He had the match with Mr. McMahon, and then he did the Mr. America kind of gimmick, and then he was pretty much gone afterwards. So this is his big return to the company. And I remember, if you could watch, I mean, you could probably get this on the WWE Network, of course. Just watch the crowd just going crazy when he comes out on stage. Also, you got Roddy Piper getting inducted, Jimmy Hart, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, the Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov, and Cowboy Bob Orton. So, you see a picture of all of them in the bottom over there. This is pretty cool. So, I mean, I always look at about this WrestleMania as kind of like a changing of the guard kind of thing, where it was like, the John Cena and Batista era was going to begin. And, again, nowadays they don't really have that, or I don't know if there's a lot of thinking about it. We're looking at this past Monday, Bobby Lashley won the WWE Championship from The Miz, which we kind of all knew that was going to happen. And it's just, I just feel that I'm happy that Bobby Lashley's the champion, but I feel it was kind of like a last minute decision. Who I would have loved to have, like, Bobby Lashley maybe winning the title, like maybe like earlier, maybe giving him more of a couple of months of dominance. Because the way it looks like it's going to happen is it's going to be Lashley against Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania, and McIntyre winning back the title. I would have loved to see Bobby Lashley having more of a title run. Give him a couple of months being this unstoppable champion, and then have Drew McIntyre. If you're going to go with Drew McIntyre, that's how I would have booked it. But a lot of times nowadays with WWE, it's like on the fly booking, it seems, unfortunately. But back in like 2005, I felt that there was like a long-term plan, especially like with the build up to these matches, and also talking about JBL. I mean, I don't think he gets enough credit. His reign as a WWE champion back in like 2004, 2005. Being that heel champion, he was a beatable champion. What that means was that like you could see him lose to like somebody like Eddie Guerrero or Rey Mysterio or somebody like the Undertaker. But like being a heel, he was always able to like somehow cheat to win or get out, win the match in the long run, and kind of like how like Ric Flair was in the NWA days, back in those like mid to late '80s. Um, but he played that role of getting John Cena over for his first title win, and but yeah, definitely you gotta look back. And also bonus features on this DVD. They have the Hall of Fame ceremony, the all 9 WrestleMania 21 trailers, including outtakes and bloopers. I guess there was a battle royal too that they had. Yeah, I mean there's a lot in here, so this is pretty cool to look back on WrestleMania 21.